Welcome to Beautifully Built, the podcast where we design more than spaces. We design lives that are big, bold, and beautifully built. I'm your host, Karen Otis-Webb, architect, author, and unapologetic life builder, forever curious about building with purpose, passion, and personal vision. This podcast is about the design of your life. Messy, meaningful, raw, and real. From relationships and reinvention to business, purpose, and everything in between. We're stripping it down to what really matters. You'll get the grit and the grace, the vision and the vulnerability, because a life worth living isn't found, it's built. Welcome back to Beautifully Built. Today's guest is JoElle Lee. She is a licensed esthetician, author, and internationally recognized skin of color expert with nearly 30 years of experience in advanced aesthetics. She became known as the go-to esthetician for high-profile clients, including former First Lady Michelle Obama, and has since trained thousands of estheticians, medical providers, and spa owners around the world on how to safely and effectively treat melanin-rich skin. Today, JoElle leads the JoElle Lee Advanced Aesthetics Training Platform and the Skin of Color Academy, where she offers professional certification programs, hands-on intensives, and clinical education specifically designed for treating Fitzpatrick 4 to 6. We'll get into that, I think.
Yes.
She is currently, I'm good. She is currently authoring a groundbreaking book for skincare professionals that aims to elevate standards, safety, and clinical outcomes for clients in both spa and medical settings. Hello, nice to have you, JoElle.
Hi, thank you, Karen, for having me.
Well, I hope people are looking at this on YouTube. We post it on YouTube as well as Instagram because your skin is radiant, I'm just going to say.
Thank you.
And I'm jealous, okay? It really is. Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's dive in. So, first off, let's dive into kind of, we're going to talk about a few things. I would love to know kind of your background, how you
Sure.
chose this profession, what interested you, kind of bring us up to speed on all of that.
Well, actually, what brought me into this profession almost 30 years ago, because I think I'm at my 28th year,
Wow.
um, is I was actually having treatments with an esthetician. And this happened in my early 20s,
Mm-hmm.
and I was going to college. I was I've always had a love for beauty, but I really didn't want to be a hairstylist or anything. I really
Mm-hmm.
didn't know if that could have a career in beauty that attracted me or was a good fit for me. But when you're working odd jobs in college, you're working wherever you can,
Yeah.
trying to figure it out. The esthetician at the time said to me, "You can do this and go to college. It's very flexible. You make your own hours. You would just have to take a break. It might take you up to a year to get your license and get your training and everything going, but
Yeah.
it would be another fallback in your life or something you could do no matter what else you pursued and so on." So
It's a great
I
skill
love
set,
that.
right? It's a great skill set to have. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, because it's something, what I was just talking to someone the other day about when I came into this industry, it was a lot of women second act. Everyone
Hmm.
in my class was 50 and up. Everybody had been a nurse or a teacher or something, and they were having their second act in life, and they still were service providers or healers, but they wanted to do it in a different way. And I was just the baby. I think I was 22 when I started this.
Wow.
And I was the baby no matter where I worked. Everyone was older. And it really was an industry that attracted women 40 and up. And even the esthetician I had was in her 40s.
Okay.
So they were all inspiring me. I will say though, in the last 10 years, it's become more of a young person's industry. Now I'm not seeing as many older women coming into it. Now I'm seeing a lot of nurses bringing in like more Botox, things like that,
Right, right.
taking on their own businesses or like leaving the corporate side of medicine and now bringing in cosmetic treatment.
Yeah,
Okay, I
like a
do
med
have
spa.
nurses that
Like a
also take my classes.
So you're saying like a med spa kind of a thing.
Yes.
Okay.
But some of them have like a private practice of their own where they also
Mhm.
provide these treatments.
Okay. And so when you got into this, so you've been doing it this whole time, and did you just fall in love with doing this?
Well, at first, I knew that I wanted to really be a more corrective person in the industry, meaning I just didn't want to provide the facials and things. So I
Okay.
immediately started working with plastic surgeons and dermatologists. So the first half of my career, I primarily worked in medical offices.
Okay.
And that became so, gratifying, if you will, or it gave me so much because we were really changing skin and changing people's life through skin.
Mhm.
And after a while, I decided, I think this is what I'm going to do. So I went through so many different types of trainings, laser trainings, chemical peel trainings, hydrofacial, microneedling, dermaplaning, all these different
Mhm.
modalities through the years. But how I came about specializing in skin of color was that was what was missing in the industry, that education. Even in school, it wasn't provided. So that was how I positioned myself in the industry as an expert and focused more on that because it was a market that was not being talked about at all.
Yeah, now let me ask you, when you say that, is it color as in just sort of, the Black kind of community, or would you say
Or
also
just anyone
Hispanic?
with more melanin. So it could be
Yes.
Asian,
Okay,
it can
because
be
I would agree
Hispanic.
with yeah, I would agree with you because not that, and right now I look like ghostly, but
Yes.
but I am
Okay.
my family's from South America, and I have wanted to do lasers, et cetera, and such, and they have always been like, "Well, we're a little concerned because the skin is, it still there's an olive element to it."
Yes.
So,
No,
okay,
because
and so
that's
you're
what we were
right.
talking about, the fits
Yep,
or fits 5 and 6, and there's a lot of modalities or equipment that's made that's not designed for pigment.
interesting. Okay,
So when
right.
you go out to have these treatments, what's very important is that they do have these modalities or this equipment in place to treat their clients of color that come in. Otherwise, you're at high risk of being burned or even worse. So
That's right, right. That's
yes,
what I've heard. Yeah, that it doesn't
yes,
heal right, right? Okay, right,
exactly.
which is I've always been afraid because of that.
Yes,
Yes. And even though I don't have my mom is who I get it from, but my mom's skin was definitely darker. I
yes,
definitely have a little of my dad's, which was, not South American. It was more German background. So,
yes.
but yeah, but I have been told that laser may be risky.
It is.
So interesting. Okay. So now do you work on your own? Are you still working with medical in the
So
medical field or?
I don't treat anymore. For the last 6 years, I have exclusively been teaching internationally,
Oh, okay. Wow.
just medical spas, nurses, estheticians. I found out during COVID actually, because I actually took my learning online during COVID, that internationally there's no training for clients of
Really?
color.
I'm
It's
actually
nowhere in the world.
so surprised.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was what really opened everything up. And now I am full-time teaching
That's
this
fantastic.
worldwide. Yes.
Yeah, because
Yes.
we can't all assume we have the same amount of melanin. And I'm surprised because I could see where, okay, maybe the US hasn't figured that out yet, but
No,
all
and
these
that's
other
what I was thinking.
countries,
I thought
yeah.
it was the US issue,
Yes.
and it's worldwide.
Wow. Okay,
Yes.
that's unfortunate. Yeah, well, it's great that you're doing that because that's definitely very needed. So, sounds like, which is even better. It sounds like you're the expert at all of this. So, I am going to fully for our fans, our listeners, pick your brain on this
Yep.
because you started out by saying, you love beauty. And it's so interesting because I say the same thing myself, but for me, it's like beautiful surroundings, right? I'm an architect by trade. So
Okay.
for me, it's like, and it started like that because and I kind of take the same philosophy where in architecture, my point is really surround yourself with beauty because it tells you you're worth it. It gives you something, it elevates your everyday if your surroundings are that way. If you
Mhm.
can, flowers or a beautiful view that you've framed in a home or, all of these different things. But it's so interesting, yeah, because especially in your industry, it's 100%. It's all about beauty. So
Yeah.
let's talk about that. So in terms of let's kind of break it down to maybe two age categories and see what is the best thing that, let's say, somebody in their 50s should be doing, like what's critical for your skin at that point, and then we can look at someone who's younger.
Well, I think what you have to assess first is where you're at on this journey. Some
Okay.
people in their 50s have been doing skincare since their 20s. Some may say, this is my first time even looking into it, looking into these treatments and looking into all these different
Right.
things I can be doing. So, first, you have to really assess, where are you? Are
Okay.
you a novice? Are you experienced? Are you very seasoned in this, skincare journey? And you need a skincare professional.
Yeah.
You need to have that conversation with, I prefer, let me tell you the difference between an esthetician or walking into a med spa.
Okay.
To me, if I walk into a medical spa, I'm probably going to meet a salesperson first. I'm not going to meet the skincare professional first. Okay,
Right.
so I want you to keep in mind when you walk into this medical spa that the primary focus when you get there is going to be to sell the
Sell,
treatments
sell,
to you.
sell. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a sell, sell, sell.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sometimes if you are really nervous about even getting started, having an esthetician, she's going to do more of the consulting with you. She's going to give you a true assessment and analysis in that initial moment. Now, she, of course, wants to sell treatment and product too, but the front piece of that is going to be a lot more heavily focused on her bringing her expertise to your consultation and analysis. And it's at that point you assess, what have you currently been using? How many treatments have you had in the past? What treatments have you been exposed to up until this point? And then we assess what's next for you. But what I really want people to understand is there is no one and done in skincare. There is no, I'm going to have a treatment today and everything's going to be look great within a week or so. I always used to tell my clients, listen, it took years to look like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's going to take some time.
Took years
If
for your
you
glowing,
want,
gorgeous skin.
right.
Darn it.
If
Okay.
you have sun damage for 10 years, if you've had wrinkles 10 years, in 10 minutes, I cannot
Mm-hmm.
get rid of it.
Yeah.
So there's a commitment involved. And that's why I always call it a journey because your skin is going to change many times throughout your life.
So true. So, so true.
Absolutely. And so you can be in front of that, you can be catching up to that, or you're playing the game of trying to reverse that. It's really up to you.
I like that. You're so right because yeah, that's okay. The way you say that is, I mean, I would say that fully applies to me because I can fully, it resonates because I feel like
Right.
I always knew my skin, never had acne, never had any issues, always fine. And then in the last 10 years, I've been like,
I
what
mean, with
happened?
women, yeah, but I said with women, there's so many things that can happen in your life that can bring on skin changes.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's pregnancy, even if
Yep.
it's perimenopause, even if it's menopause, even even the stress of being mom, a stress of having a career, a stress, of moving to different environments. So many things can play a part in your skin having changes. And that's what I mean about always having a professional or always doing treatments consistently or even having a go-to person consistently is so important to stay ahead of these changes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I
'Cause,
think
some
it's
women are
crazy.
using the same product. They're 40 and they're using the products they were using when they're 20. They were told their skin type in their 20s, and I'm going, a lot's changed.
Yeah. You're
And
not there.
so
You're not
but
still
they're
there.
just think, "I need this my whole life." I was told this one time, "I need this my whole life." And I says, "No, your skin changes." Your skin even changes seasonally. The
Mm-hmm.
products you use in the summer, you probably can't use in the winter. All those little things matter.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. What of all the it's such an industry that seems to rapidly change that it's so
Mhm.
hard to stay, unless you're in the industry, which is why we need a professional in the industry. It's hard to keep up with all of it. Like,
I
all of a
do think
sudden.
that right now you're really bombarded with information.
Mhm.
So even if you Google something, you're going to be bombarded with advertising. So you have a lot of influencers out there who are, pitching all these different products and all these different brands. You have a tremendous amount of videos, whether they're on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, social media doing the same thing. It's
Mhm.
very hard to choose what you should be doing, when you should be doing it. There's
Yes.
so much information everywhere you turn, every magazine, every commercial. You need this, you need that, you need this. And that's what I'm saying. If you are incredibly overwhelmed and you just want to clear out that noise, get an appointment with a skincare professional who can at least narrow things down for you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
And bring those questions to the esthetician. Bring those things that you've been, everything you've are taking in that you may have questions about, bring those questions to the professional.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So can you tell us, for example, like what is your favorite treatment to do to people or what they get the most benefit? Or do you feel like there's a really good one out there? I mean, of course, it's going to be an individual situation.
I
Yeah.
will tell you that my favorite and for 30 years, it's not changed.
Oh,
It's
wow.
an easy fix. If you wanna get into corrective in any way, I always say the simplest road is chemical peels.
Hmm. Okay.
If done correctly and professionally, this this is a great
Hmm.
avenue to go down, and you can do them with minimal downtime. You can do them with no downtime. It just depends on, which you choose. But there are more invasive options as well with peels. Now, the reason I love the chemical peel is, like I said, you can get them in a series of treatments and you can solve a lot of issues
Hmm.
in a series of treatments, meaning I want to reduce my lines. I want to get my texture better. Like I want my texture smoother. I want to diminish any dark spots I may have. Maybe I want to diminish melasma. I want to diminish sun damage. And it also helps your products work even better. So let's say you were doing a faithfully skincare regimen, right? The peels are even going to enhance the product. It's going to help the
Mm.
product work more efficiently as well. And you can even, after doing your series, get them through maintenance, meaning get them done every quarter, get them done once a month to keep your results in check and to prevent other signs of aging from occurring. So that's always been my favorite and go to. Now, you can
Hmm.
get more intense. You can get lasers combined with peels. You can get other treatments combined with peels as well. But that is my specialty and my specialty training. One of the main things I talk about most is getting clients in chemical peels. And you will see results much more relatively quickly
Hmm.
with peels than other treatments as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. And that is, it goes across the board, even with like with different skin color, skin of color,
Absolutely.
or they
Now,
work the
the
same.
key
Okay.
here, though, is if you're someone of color, you
Hmm.
do have to be properly prepped, and your barrier and everything has to be intact before you are able to have a peel, and you usually have to start out at a very low level to ensure you don't have any inflammation.
I
So
see.
with clients of color, inflammation is the enemy. So anytime there's
Hmm.
inflammation, and this is what we talked about earlier when we were talking about the laser, unfortunately, with clients of color, it can leave behind discoloration.
Right.
So if you ever are doing something inflammatory to someone of color, the risk is always, are they going to inflame to the point that it leaves behind the discoloration or hyperpigmentation after?
I see. Okay. And is there a certain type of chemical peel that, I mean, are they all the same? I know
No, they
there's
are
like,
not.
okay, interesting. What
Okay,
are
so
the
you have
different types?
your alpha hydroxy acid base, like your glycolic acid, your mandelic acid, your lactic acids, and things like that. So again, that would be determined on what are we trying to do in the treatment? Are we targeting wrinkles? Are we targeting discoloration? Are we targeting acne? So that's where you need the professional. She would determine, or he would determine what would be the most effective chemical peel and what type of peel, what strength to use, and all of that.
Okay, interesting. Okay, that's fantastic to know. Right. And what do you think? Is there anything out there that you think is just not worth it? Now we went with what you think is your best. What do you think is like, yeah, that's just bogus. It doesn't quite do a darn thing.
That's kinda that's a tough question
Hmm.
because I do think every modality has its place in what it does. So I would never be able, only thing I
Yeah.
can say is there's some specific treatments I definitely wouldn't want a client of color to get that I would say just I know it would cause harm. But
Okay.
other than that,
So it's not necessarily that there's one out there that is just
right, like, I
okay.
wouldn't say you definitely should never get dermaplaning, you definitely should never get hydrofacial, I would never say something like that.
Right.
Because
Okay.
like I
Okay.
said, each modality has what it does and how it corrects, then you might actually be a candidate for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Then, um, why do you think that well, let me ask you, first of all, why do you think that it was a second act? I took a note here that I wanted to ask you that you had said it was
Okay.
for so many their second act. Why do you think so?
Because like I said, I think because I noticed it was a lot of women who were already in some type of healing or servicing industry where they could still offer something without the stress of the corporate job they
Mm,
were coming from.
That
So
makes
maybe
sense.
the nursing schedule was too much, the stress of being a nurse was too much, but she could still heal a client or still bring results to a client, but in a more relaxed atmosphere in her own time. And she's not having the same stress she had from her job.
Oh, that makes so much sense, which is
Yeah.
so much a part of building your life,
Or
how you
maybe
want
that's
it.
where they wanna be in their life right now. Even that same
Mhm.
or if they're still choosing to work, they want that type of atmosphere to work in.
Right, exactly. I
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, no, I could see that. Because there's you mentioned that, our skin changes so many times throughout our lifetime, and so does our life. I mean, there are times,
absolutely.
we're running around with the kids, and then there's times where our nest is empty and
Mhm.
all those changes do. Yeah, I always say we need to reevaluate and reassess our life. I think more so for women than men at various points. We go through some big changes.
Oh, absolutely. I'm in that big change now. I'll be I think I wait a minute. No, I'm 51. I turned 51 in December,
Yeah.
and I honestly can say I'm in some point where I'm going, ever was so important to me or mattered to me, the priorities and things, they're changing.
Yes.
How I wanna impact the world, what do I wanna do now? I'm coming into, instead of,
Mhm.
I need a career, I have this family, I'm getting into, what's the legacy?
Oh my gosh,
How am I giving
yes,
back?
yes,
I want to impact something. I was not here at 22.
mhm.
I
No,
wasn't. I wasn't here at 32.
I think you're so right. I think it hits around 50. I mean, I remember at 50 is kind of when I started doing these podcasts, wrote a book. It was more about what am I going to leave behind in this life?
Right.
It is about legacy. And yeah, I think at 50, two things I remember at 50 hit. One was, what do I really want? Kind of reassessing that
There
and
you
how
go.
to,
Mhm.
and the second one was I don't care anymore what people think of me.
Yeah,
That was
and
another
and
one,
and that's
right?
what I said, it
You're
was
like,
like,
who cares?
when you do something a long time and you're thinking about reinventing yourself in some way, because I do believe there's no mistake of anything. But I know I'm outgrowing the thing.
Mhm.
Like, my aesthetics career served me tremendously. I can't say enough about all the heights I reached inside
Yeah.
that career. That career I started at 22.
Yeah.
I'm not her. So I'm at a point in my life. Here I am. I'm 51, which I'm trying to remember.
I know.
That's the perimenopause that doesn't allow me to remember
That's
things
right.
that
I'm in the menopause. I vividly remember my age now. Once you hit
All
menopause, you're
right.
like,
So I
"Oh
don't
god."
know. Right. But I'm becoming something
Mhm.
far away from that. And I don't know if that's the years of experience, the years of wisdom. And now I know that I need to rise to this new occasion. I am at a place where I either need to take this career and turn it into something else or have something completely different. And I
Mhm.
think that was the second act conversation. I think they had came
Yes.
to some type of fork in the road or some point in their life and they went, I've been a nurse 30 years,
Mhm.
or I've been
Mhm.
a teacher this long, or I've been, and that doesn't fulfill you the same way either. The thing you were so passionate about at that particular time isn't firing you up like it used to.
Yes, that's very true.
And
Yeah, it
you have
is.
to find ways, or you know that you're getting ready to evolve into something else and something more meaningful.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's a combination of what you're saying. You're right. It maybe we've lost some of the spark of it or the passion of it, but also I think what I've realized, I think I lose the challenge of it, right? We lose
Mhm.
the challenge. Like it's challenging when you're young and figuring it out and learning the ins and outs and going from novice to someone really good. But
Yes.
then you're like, I kind of know all of it now. Now what? Yeah. Yep.
You want the next thing that you're excited about.
Mhm.
Or maybe you want to say, I just don't want to stress like that anymore.
Mhm.
I want something else. I
Yeah.
want a completely different way of living.
Yes.
And what does that look like?
I love the way this conversation is going
Yeah.
because it's so good because yeah, no, and I feel like I'm going through that myself. Like I just recently decided to add real estate to my architecture.
Right.
Why? Because I'm like, I don't know, it's challenging, it's different. I think it'll bring some new spark to it for me and meet clients early on in the process, but I could see that. So where do you think that will lead you to? Have you thought
Well,
about
there's
that
a big
further?
part of me that is saying a couple things. One is saying that I think I have a message for the general public. I don't think it's just industry professionals anymore.
Mhm.
And I think there's a wealth of information I could bring to the general public that I've never tapped into.
That's a great idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I said, "What does that look like? Like, how would I do that?" And this is what I'm talking about doing something so long and trying to figure out, well, how am I going to turn this into what matches who I am now?
Right. Yes.
And I think that's what you were saying.
Mhm.
Listen, I'm attracted to this real estate thing now. I wasn't
Mhm.
before, but I
Never.
am now.
Yep.
How can I bring this to what I already know
Mhm.
and put them together so that I'm feeling more excited about what I'm doing?
Mhm.
And that's where I'm at.
I love that. Yeah, I think that's great. And I think when you do couple two kind of careers together or two,
Mhm,
skill sets together, the result is kind of interesting because like, yeah,
mhm.
like in mine with, there aren't I don't know of any other architect slash realtor. And the way I
Right.
approach homes is different because it's coming
Mhm,
from my real estate background. I'm sorry, from my architectural background, bringing that to the real estate, which is brand new for me. But yeah, I love that. So yeah, how I love that you could bring it to the general public. I have found, I think, in the last few years, maybe since COVID, I don't know. I think so. I think it had a lot to do with COVID. People are just wanting different answers, wanting to go search for the answers themselves, are less trusting of the medical profession
mhm.
since COVID. And so, yeah, so, we do, and with the internet, we do a lot of our own research, right? We even,
I think that went on before COVID, and COVID just exacerbated this whole
maybe
mindset
so.
because I think that's why so much integrative medicine has been born and natural remedies
Yes.
and all these other things. I do think people are like, are there other options besides this Western medicine and all of that?
Hmm.
And so I understand where you're coming from when you're talking about how they find themselves in searching for the answers, but I also know how you can go down a rabbit hole on the internet.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know how you can diagnose yourself with 25 diseases
I was
before
gonna
you
say, yeah, we go on
right, right,
WebMD and we're like, "Oh, I
right.
have this." Yeah, I know. That's a problem.
So it's a problem. It can if it in extreme situations both ways, it can be harmful,
Yeah. Yes, yes.
is what I'm saying. And but I do agree with you that with everything at our fingertips, we're on this search of our own.
Mhm.
But then we become on a search of finding people to, like I like to say, co-sign what we found. Well,
Right.
I've discovered all of this who feels the same way.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
I think that's the next part of it.
that's true. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, with all of the, I feel like even I'm not even sure when it all came out, but to me, I've become more aware in the last couple of years of all the different ingredients and things and like
Mhm.
where we're headed. So, like, what do you think? So, obviously, hyaluronic acid,
Right.
huge thing. Right. Okay. What do you feel about like hyaluronic, resveratrol? What are some of the yeah, all these different
These
things they
are
tell
your
you?
anti-aging ingredients.
Mhm.
You're gonna find them in most of you're gonna see similar ingredients
Yes.
in your anti-aging. You're going to see similar ingredients in acne.
Mhm.
You're gonna see similar ingredients for sun
Yeah.
damage and discoloration. You're gonna see a lot of the same things in a
Mhm.
bottle,
Right, right.
okay? And what I always like to let people know is that the main part of any product is usually your first 5 ingredients. Those
Okay,
other
interesting.
35, well, that are gonna be
Yeah,
listed,
I know, which you can't
it's
even
like a drop
pronounce.
of that.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
First
so
5.
if you're like, I'm really looking for something with a lot of hyaluronic acid, I'm really looking something for resveratrol, or with retinol, or I really
Mhm.
want more of that. That needs to be in your top 5.
Okay, good to know.
Otherwise, yeah,
Otherwise,
no,
it's not worth it. Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Any one product
Mm.
that you think is exceptional above all others or no? Any one line or brand?
I don't like to throw out brands,
Yeah. Okay.
but I have some that now, if anybody wants to contact me, but when I do it, it's harder publicly to just say, use
Oh,
these
yeah,
3 things
understand. Yes.
because I don't know your skin and that line might not be suitable.
Right, right. That
So
makes sense.
I need to know more about what are we trying to do, and then I can lead you down some roads, but I don't blanket recommendation.
Mhm. Okay.
I
No, that
just
makes
don't.
sense. Everybody, yeah, absolutely. What do
Yeah.
you think the biggest kind of new thing to the market has been, or what ingredient for anti-aging?
Well, I think the biggest thing happening in our market is they're bringing home all this equipment, LED masks,
Yes,
the microderm
yes.
machines, like everything's becoming an at home. That
Mhm.
to me is looking like a more futuristic thing happening is that you're going to be doing all this at home. I'm
True.
not a big fan of that. I think that was born out of COVID as well.
Right.
I think that you can, yes, can you color your own hair? You can. Can you perm your own hair? Yeah, I
Mhm.
can. I can go get the stuff and do it.
But it might not look good.
But when I go get it professionally done,
Yeah.
it's better. It's better.
Uh-huh.
So that's what I'm saying. Can you do these things? Yeah,
Yeah.
you could
Right.
do. You could buy all the skincare equipment and start, but I do think higher risk is involved. You know
Absolutely.
what? When it comes to my face
Mhm.
that I know I can't hide, I want to take the least amount of chances
Yep.
because
Mhm. No, I hear you.
just think about
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
that really matters to me. If this goes wrong, how bad I can look several days
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah.
So I said, if I mess up my hair, I can buy a wig.
Right.
I
We can
can. Like if
You're
I mess
right.
up
No,
my hair,
you're
right,
right.
I can
Yeah.
get through this moment.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
cannot.
No, with the face.
No,
It's so
no.
true, though. No, there's
So
nowhere
I
to
have
hide.
to really care. No, I have to really care about the chance I take on my face.
Yes. I so
Yes.
understand that. That's very true.
Yes.
Yes. So what else do we want to know here? I would love to know, I know you worked with Michelle Obama, other people. How was all of that? Anything to share there?
Well, that was the height of my career.
I bet. Yeah.
And
Did you know her before, or how
yes, I
did
did.
you
Yes,
Okay.
I did. She
Mhm.
was my client before
Oh, okay.
because I
Mhm.
was in Chicago,
Okay. That makes sense.
but
Yeah.
to still be asked to come there
Oh, yeah.
once President Obama was elected was still amazing. And that was just to be part of that history and that close to it
Mhm.
was just, like I said, that was definitely the height of everything that I did. And I tell people all the time, I could, no matter what else I do in aesthetics, that'll be the stamp
Right,
of
right.
what I did. That is going to be what I'm known for the most.
Right, right.
But it was a huge opportunity that happened to me that I'm forever grateful for. Like,
Yeah.
it was just an awesome experience.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, and sometimes we're given
Yes.
those wonderful opportunities. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. So, so good. So, in terms of people wanting to connect with you, to ask you certain
Yes.
questions or whatever, how can they? What's the best way?
So on Instagram, I am JoElle underscore aesthetics training.
Okay.
And I'm on Facebook as well as JoElle or JoElle aesthetics training as well.
Hmm.
And you can also contact me by email. I don't know if you're going to post
Yeah, we'll
my
put all of
email.
it. We will.
And I have a website as well, which is joelle.com.
Okay, perfect. So that's the best way for, okay. And then, so you're not, are you, where do you live, by the way?
So I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, okay. That's
Yes.
nice. So how is it? Has it been snowing there?
We got our first snow in 4 years
Right? Yeah.
last week. Yes. So we had been waiting. So when we first moved here, it snowed one time in one day.
Oh, wow.
And we waited 4 years to see snow again.
Wow.
And it
Yeah, it looks like
finally
you got a
snowed.
lot though, right?
No,
Really? Okay. On the
I
news,
think
it's
we
like,
had an inch.
oh, okay. There was other parts of North Carolina that were saying
No,
22
there were.
inches. Is
Like
that okay?
Charlotte got a lot of, yeah,
Okay. Wow.
Charlotte got a
Yeah.
lot of snow, but we didn't.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So,
Nice. So to
yeah.
have a little, not a lot. I wouldn't want a
But
lot.
it
I don't
was
want to,
nice. It was nice
yeah,
because my son, he was just he wanted so bad.
I did. Yeah.
To see it again. So,
Yeah.
I was thrilled, and all the kids still got to go outside and play in it, so it was
Oh,
great.
nice. Nice. Well, it has
Yeah.
been such a pleasure having you on here, Joelle. I
Thank
love all
you.
of your expertise. And thank you so much. And and if I get some more questions, I will be reaching out.
All right, and thank you for having me, Karen. This was fun.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for listening to Beautifully Built. If today's episode gave you something to think about, or better yet, fired you up to build bolder, be sure to follow, subscribe, and leave a review. You can find me on Instagram at Karen Otis-Webb for more behind the scenes, design inspo, and life building magic. Remember, you're not here to play small. You're here to build something real, because a life worth living isn't found, it's built. Until next time, stay bold, stay brilliant, and stay unapologetically you.